following bulletin has been brought to you by Angushire County. Listening is mandatory for all residents of Angushire. Not listening or missing the broadcast will result in undisclosed penalties.
Good afternoon, residents of Angushire County. This is the January news for your local area, provided to you by Angushire County Council and Central Government. As we enter month 11 of isolation, we must remember to continue to follow the government guidance. Remember to stay apart where possible, wash whenever returning from any trips outside of your home, and avoid food not from a verified source. We are aware of the length at which this isolation has lasted, but through following the guidelines and staying apart where we can beat the pandemic together. Global powers are continuing to work together to find a vaccine, and we can report that progress has been promising in the past month, with trials on people looking to be approved by the end of March. If you are presenting any of the following symptoms, please phone a medical advisor for Angushire County immediately. A persistent cough, continuous confusion, spontaneous diarrhea, unusual breathing, a change in taste or smell or sight or hearing or feeling, a runny nose, a blocked nose, a sore throat, a discoloration of nail tissue. If you are unclear about any of the symptoms just mentioned, please rewind, re-listen, and research. We will get through this pandemic together. You are not alone. This has been your pandemic update for January. In local news, David Forcroft is pleased to announce that his farm products have now been verified, and he is selling fantastic local produce straight from the farm. If you fancy spoiling your family rotten with some chicken eggs or milk from an animal, David's farm is open from 8 AM to 2 PM, Tuesday to Saturday. Whilst this may seem tantalising, please remember that travel without need is prohibited, unless the need to travel falls within the government-mandated reasons to travel, which you can find online. Thanks for your devotion to feeding the county through the pandemic, David. It has recently been announced that once restrictions are lifted and the global powers have ended the pandemic status, the play park at Chasquot Park will be torn down due to damage caused by recent vandalism. For those of you who don't remember, the play park was attacked by a group of young citizens of Angushire County who covered the children's park in conspiracy theory messages and unscrewed multiple parts of the park, therefore making it dangerous to any child who played on it. As a result, the graffitied equipment has been covered in tar and cordoned off to the public. The youths who committed the crime have been sentenced to community service for the vandalising, and have also received a £2,000 fine each and 3 years in prison for not obeying the government curfew and travel guidance. Please remember to be in your homes from 6 PM to 6 AM, and to not travel unless your need falls within the central government reasons. Local councillors have started a GoFundMe page to help raise money to build a new and improved play park as soon as the old one has been burned down. If you have any spare change, please consider donating. The Angushire County Council is currently conducting roadworks across Angushire. Due to the nature of the roadworks, we are requesting that we all stay off the roads and in our homes. We understand that you may not be able to see us working on the roads, but we assure you that we are somewhere in Angushire working on the roads, just perhaps not where you are just yet. These roadworks should be finished in the coming months. Thank you for your patience during this time. The final news item from Angushire this month. Mabel the boxer dog has recently been trying to achieve the world record for the world's quietest bark. The Smith family, who live in Ammonooth's town centre, bought Mabel 2 weeks into the lockdown and noticed almost immediately that the dog was able to, possibly, let out the world's quietest bark. Whilst it has been met with some scepticism, with people online saying it is just a yawn, or that maybe Mabel literally just opened her mouth a bit and then closed it, Mabel's family is insisting that it is a bark. The family have been kind enough to send over an audio clip of Mabel's quiet bark. Take a listen now and decide for yourself. Wow, would you listen to that? Well done, Mabel. I don't know about you at home, but us here in the studio think that Mabel might have what it takes to be a resident world record holder. We wish you all the best, Mabel, and look forward to hearing the result in the coming months. In world news, the United States of America have put a large wall around themselves in an effort to keep the virus out. The wall has been made from melted down red plastic party cups, which were in abundance since the country's colleges closed. Unfortunately, the country has still been struck by the virus, despite their big wall. Some members of Congress are saying that it originated from a member of the plastic melting team that built the wall, and that said team member made the company aware, but they were forced to come in anyway as they had used up their 8.5 days annual leave. Other politicians have said that this is nothing more than a made-up conspiracy theory, and that the virus actually got into the country through the use of phone apps made by countries east of Germany. Whilst it is important to relay the news from the United States, it is important for us in the UK to remember that at the moment these theories are nothing more than theories. Please remember to always fact check what you read or hear by checking the internet. We are saddened to report that the wife of the Austrian Prime Minister has died. The Austrian government has reported that she unfortunately had several heart attacks over the space of a week, and in early hours of yesterday morning passed away. She also reportedly had a slightly blocked nose shortly before her passing, so the death has been marked as virus-related. Our hearts are with the Austrian Prime Minister and her family. Finally, in sunny New Zealand, due to the effectiveness of their lockdown, the flightless bird known as a kiwi has somehow quintupled in population and is spreading across the island and appears to be taking over small towns. The flightless bird does not seem to mean the people of the country harm. They initially seemed happy eating from the bins of people's homes. However, they seem to have now realised where the rubbish comes from and are waiting at people's doors for the leftover scraps. Some people have finally given in and are taking the kiwis in as family pets. Katrina Welsham from Melbourne said, "I think they are cute. They are just what we needed to lift spirits during the pandemic. They are only chicken-sized, so don't take up much space, and they are quite friendly in nature, which is great for the kids. The only downside is the horrific scream they make. I don't really know why they do it, but at first it would make the entire family cry, especially when the streets are filled with screams, but you get used to it. It's like a lovely bird song to most of us now." That concludes this month's World News. The weather for the coming week is looking mostly cloudy, with a chance of some sunshine on Saturday afternoon, with highs of 14 and lows of 3 degrees Celsius. The weather for the rest of January is looking to clear up in week 4, and we will hopefully have mainly sunshine with a few clouds here and there. This weather update is completely subject to change. This concludes this month's Angushire County update. The next update will be in February. Until then, you must follow government guidelines or risk penalties depending on who you are, where you are, and how we believe you broke guidelines. Stay apart where possible, wash whenever returning from any trips outside of your home, and avoid food not from a verified source. Space, shower, safe sustenance. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, Angushire County.
This bulletin has been brought to you by Angushire County Council. Listening is mandatory for all residents of Angushire. Not listening or not following government guidelines will result in undisclosed penalties. The next bulletin will be broadcast on February 14th at 6 p.m. Thank you for your time.